Hello everyone, Neil Patel here. Thank you for downloading the latest episode of the Indian Startup Show. So believe it or not, India produces 42 billion tonnes of waste every day, and most of it is left in the landfills of city outskirts. It's not very good. So today I'm talking with Nivedha. She is the founder and CEO of Trashcon. They've created an amazing, unique machine that helps solve this problem by converting mixed waste into biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Amazing stuff. So in this conversation, she talks about her exciting rollercoaster journey since graduating 3 months ago, how the machine actually works, overcoming initial roadblocks, the business model, being the youngest mentor at the Founders Institute, winning a number of awards, and working weekends and missing birthday parties, and much, much more. So please enjoy the show. Thank you. Hello, Nivedha. Thank you for coming on the Indian Startup Show today.
Yeah. Hi, Neil. Hi, everyone.
Please tell the listeners what you're building.
What we are building is a machine called TrashBot,
Yep.
and TrashBot is a bot which can absolutely do any kind of segregation of mixed municipal solid waste. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking about municipal solid waste, this is the waste that is otherwise found in front of your houses, dumped in the streets, or getting burnt in the landfills. So what this machine essentially does is take this waste and segregate it into biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. When you're segregating any kind of mixed waste, you're generating value out of it. And the way this machine does is it is almost instantly. It does it instantly and with an accuracy of almost 98%.
Excellent. And where did you get the idea from?
Yeah, so I'm a chemical engineer, mm-hmm. and I'm now 22. Mm-hmm. And during my second year of engineering, I happened to pass through this one street near my institute, mm-hmm. where absolutely no one could pass through because it had this huge dump yard, and all the residents used to come and dump their garbage in there, and nobody used to clear it. So what we used to do was take the entire long route because we couldn't take the stink. Mm-hmm. So one day it so happened that I was done with it, and even the residents there, some of them I knew, and they were complaining how some of them were falling ill and they couldn't bear the stink that was coming out of there. And so I thought, why not do something about it? So as you know, I had all this NGO background and etc. So I used it, and we started something like a campaign. Mm-hmm. Went, approached the mayor and the chief engineering officer of that place, and they appreciated the effort, and eventually we cleaned up the entire area, the government authorities, the entire we students, a group of students, and the residents. So that was all cool. We actually did the campaign very well. The place was clean. We came in the newspapers, all well. Mm-hmm. But then 1 week later, almost the same thing, occurred. I mean, I went through the same area, and again the same dump was there. Mm-hmm. Then I realized that all this bringing about a campaign or bringing about a change is going nowhere, because all of us are just self-sufficient as long as the waste is out of our houses. Mm-hmm. But then what happens to it later on is where the question is. And until you segregate waste, you cannot actually generate value out of it. And although almost 40 million rack pickers are trying to segregate waste across the nation, we hardly have 10% segregation. Can you imagine 10% segregation? Mm-hmm. And we generate around 42 million tons of waste every day.
Every day.
So So when you're generating such a quantity and you're only segregating 10%, then the amount of waste that is sitting in the landfills is absolutely enormous. I mean, Neil, to be frank, I have been to a few landfills, and can you imagine the amount of waste that is sitting there? Mm-hmm. It's 1 lakh crore tons.
Wow.
Of waste that was sitting in that landfill. And when I was approaching, I felt it's a mountain. I really mistook it for a huge mountain. And then I end up seeing that, it was a huge landfill. So when that is the case, I felt, that there is a need. There is an absolute need for technology to intervene, because otherwise there is no more area left to dump waste anymore. Say if you take US, for example, the population is very less. So maybe that is not creating a direct impact already, but it will eventually in the future. But if you take country like India, the impact is readily seen. All the floods that occur, clogging of the holes in the roads, all of this is but a consequence of the waste being dumped on the streets. And the main crux of this problem is not doing enough segregation. So that is why, very fueled by this entire idea, I thought, let us come up with a technology to do it. And when we began it, everybody, we were a group of three, and I went and pitched into my professor, and she was very glad, that we were coming up with something like this. But all the experienced experts in the field told us, hey, that's not possible. I mean, you are a bunch of 21-year-olds. I mean, what can you possibly do? I mean, you can't crack something of this magnitude, right? So, but then eventually, I think 2 years of hard work, no Saturday, Sundays, complete R&D, a lot of failures. And at last, I think we hit the right thing. And we came up with our first prototype. And that is when I realized, there's a huge economic value also that we are generating. Apart from the social, impact that we are creating, we are also generating a huge economic value. And that's when I went ahead and, started knowing more about this field. And then that's when the product became a hit. I mean, now we have huge traction. We are known across, I think, many embassies also, apart from India. So, I think we have gained a huge traction even without any kind of marketing. We already have launched one product where we are currently segregating around 140 houses waste, and it has been running for the past 1 month. Each day we have around 100 kgs of waste that we are handling, and now we are releasing version 2 of TrashBot, which is of a higher capacity, in which we plan to give it away to the municipalities, because a few municipalities have approached us and have invited us to put up our machines in their wards.
Seems like you've been on a roller coaster journey for the last 2 years then.
Absolutely. I think it's been just 3 months since I graduated, and it's a real. I mean, we are already there amongst the top 100 most innovative. I mean, you see that in our website as well. So we have had a couple of achievements, and achievements that we normally a 3-month-old startup cannot actually even imagine. And I think that is very much because we have hit the right pain point at the right time. So I think that is all. And I mean, even the government of Karnataka has been supporting us a lot. They have funded us. They have actually incubated us. So it's a pretty good thing that way. So a lot of support. I mean, I have never faced a no from anybody so far. So yeah.
How does the machine actually work then?
So we have understood that using sensors or any kind of machine learning or image processing can maybe do segregation of mixed waste, but it cannot do it at a capacity that we intend to do. I mean, in the range of tons per day. So then we realized that the go-to solution is mechanical unit operations. So a sequence of mechanical unit operations placed in a compact way is what does the trick. So we have the waste being, dumped from your dustbins directly into the hopper of the machine. The hopper is basically the feed where you put in the entire waste, and the waste gets shredded. And when you're talking about shredding, it gets shredded into very fine particles. And the shredder is very unique, because generally the kind of shredders you find is very particular. Say you find shredders for bio waste, you find shredders for wood waste, but you won't find a all-in-one shredder, which can shred absolutely anything. So this shredder does that particular thing. Before this, you have stages where you remove metals and non-metals such as aluminium. That is done using a magnetic or eddy current separator. We generally don't use it because in household waste we haven't found much of a metal content. It's hardly 0.03% of waste. So the metals that we are talking about. Then when it gets shredded, it goes through a pneumatic separation. So pneumatic separation is wherein you use air as the medium of separation for biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So the biodegradable, being denser, falls closer to the axial blower that we are using, and the non-biodegradable falls farther apart. So the novelty of this whole thing, I mean, we have a patent on it. The novelty of the whole thing is that the sequencing in which the mechanical operations are placed, the different specifications that the entire machine works on. I mean, what is the exact velocity that you should run the blower at? What is the pressure that you should be running it at? And what is the feed that you can feed in? And what is the output that you're getting? So we have ensured that we have optimized this to an extent of up to 98%, as I told you. And with every machine, I think we are just making it more and more user-friendly, because our users are mostly people who are unskilled. So the machine is also built in a way that, any person can use it. Anybody. You don't need to literally be trained. I mean, we train them for a week or so, but then after that, they can take care of it themselves.
What happens after the waste has been separated then?
Yeah, so when you segregate the waste, the bio waste that you get is a very good material for being used as compost, or to be sent to biomethanization units. So in biomethanization units, what is currently happening is that most of them run under capacity, because as you know that their main source of waste is from central kitchens or hotels, which are very less in quantity. So if you have, say, a 30-ton plant, which one of our partners have, they hardly get around 5 to 10 tons every day. So that is where you can, we are trying to supplement all of them, because they're currently going in lower margins because of segregation not happening up to the mark, because they need at least 85% of biodegradable to be fed into their machine. So anything less they cannot accept. So that's how the bio waste is taken care of. Now the non-bio, when you're looking at it, that we are creating a new market out there, because the non-bio that we are getting is predominantly plastics, and they are shredded mixed plastics. So what happens is that this does not find a ready value in the market that we are currently having, because currently they manually segregate, right? So all the bottles go to one place, all the say cans go to another place. So we are shredding everything and saying, hey, see, the non-biodegradable is shredded. Now, we have found that it has multiple uses. Number one being, you can mix it with roads. Bitumen, 9 tons of bitumen is mixed with 1 ton of plastics to be paved on roads. And that ensures almost into 6 times lifespan of the roads, which most of the municipalities have taken into. I mean, across the world, this is being followed. That is something that all of us know about. So we have tied up with one of the road construction industry for the same, wherein we are thinking of supplying the next few tons of plastics to them. Second, we are trying to find applications in composite making, as in if you take wood or plywood, for example, you can actually make lesser cost but similar strength, wood furnitures or wood utility products by mixing it with plastics. So plastics basically reinforce the material, anything, that you mix it with. So that is number 2, where you can find usage. 3 is wherein we have gained enough, interest from companies such as Shell and Bosch, and they're definitely interested in our product. And Shell, as you know, has a plastic, waste to fuel plant. So one more very important utility of the non-biodegradable is you can convert it into fuel. Say diesel, you can convert it into diesel. That is something that we are looking into.
It seems everyone's really positive about this business that you're doing. What can go wrong? I mean, do you have any sleepless nights or anything that you're worried
totally.
about?
I mean, Neil, now I'm giving you the solutions, but then maybe 2 years ago, it was an impossibility to almost everyone except us who were dreaming big. And down the lane, we have understood that nothing can actually be impossible. And that's when I hit a lot of roadblocks. Like say this non-biodegradable, shredded non-bio. I think I would have gone to around 50 recycling units, and all of them told, hey, the kind of waste you have is something that I can't even understand. What are you even talking about? So essentially that was a roadblock. But then eventually, we kept hitting it so hard that we actually found a way through it. And that's when we found all these few channels that were available in front of us. So I think there is more to go. There are more challenges, and every day is absolutely a different day.
What kept you going in the early days?
I think I had a lot of belief in my product. That was a very important thing, because I felt that more than the product, people were buying into my passion and my belief in my product. Product was secondary. That's something that I understood over this period. And I also felt that, I was very inspired, because I really wanted to bring about a change to this entire industry. Because I've been in close contact with, these rack pickers who are currently using their bare hands to do segregation. And I wanted to bring them to the main field and, channelize their, their participation in the society in a better way. And also the entire community as a whole. I would not want to have waste dumped in front of my house. And I just wanted to bring about a change. And I just can't sit and, lay back and complain, bring about a change. Cause something. So yeah, I think that's what kept me going. I wanted to do it. That's it.
What's the business model then? Is it going to be a profit or non-profit? Will you be?
No, it is going to be for profit, obviously, because I think we have 2 models. One is wherein we sell the machines, and we sell the machines to a few customer segments such as municipal corporations, to all these huge IT parks, to educational institutions and apartments with more than 3,000 households. So this is basically a huge market, as you can imagine. And also to our partners, it's a biomethanization units and composting units, wherein they can, put in all the waste that they're getting in and actually segregate bio and non-bio and take the bio out from there. Currently, these industries have employed around 300, 400 people to do the task which one machine could do. So that is what we are trying to look at. They're having a recurring cost here, and here one machine can actually do the entire thing, and within almost 1/10 the time that the people take to, with obviously less number of errors. So the second model is leasing, where we lease out the machines to apartments with less than 3,000 households. And that for them, we give an end-to-end waste management, wherein we take the waste, we sell the waste to our partners in the bio and non-bio segments. So that is another thing. So we sell the machines, we sell the waste. So there are two things. And we already have around 4 pre-orders when it comes to apartments. And we have gotten calls from Gurgaon, from Delhi NCR region, from Chennai, and many other places for the machine. So I think now we have more demand than we can supply. So I think that's where we are now.
Emotionally, how do you feel about that then? The fact that you got more demand than supply.
I think I felt that there are more challenges ahead. Emotionally, I'm not really overwhelmed, although I think I just feel that, we need to increase more capacity. And currently I'm on the roadmap to find out how is it that we can, increase our capacity to fuel the supply.
How are you finding being a CEO? Because obviously you've been a student and an inventor, now a CEO. How are you finding it?
Yeah, I think me being a CEO is not something that I am. It may look to the entire world that there's one girl who is, trying to do this, but behind me is a set of, is my team, is a set of mentors whom I have, and I think it's because of all of them that I've come to where we are now. So I'm not a single person army who's running the show. A CEO is just the name. I'm just a person who's giving ideas and trying to, take things forward. But I think there's a whole, army behind who is trying to, push me ahead. So I think there is not much of a responsibility with all these people there.
Yeah. What excites you most then about what you're doing?
I think every day is exciting. I mean, I feel that even if Trashcon really becomes big and maybe I feel all settled, I'm not going to really feel good, because I want every day to be, every day I get up early in the morning and then I have like 100 calls and, 100 things to look into and hundreds of challenges and everything is new, I mean, every thing is new. You cannot really get it out of a few books. So you need to think out of the box every day and find a way out. It so happens that all these challenges, the first time you hit it, you feel like it's a roadblock. I mean, you can't go beyond it, and that's where the fun lies. Because if it was easy, that's how we motivate ourselves in our team. We tell, if this problem was easy, then maybe anybody could have done it. And because it's difficult, it's our duty to solve it. So yeah, that's what pushes us out.
Actually, so many startups do fail, but you seem to be doing well. What are your thoughts on that? Why is that? I think.
Neil, I think the most important thing is that the team should have belief in the product that they are giving to the world, and that is most important, because the customer is not really going into a startup or a company, or even if you say investors. I mean, we have a lot of investors who are interested in our in funding us. I mean, currently we have funds from the government of Karnataka, and we have also we are also going to receive funds from IIM Bangalore. So we are quite sufficient as of now. But apart from that, also we have investors who want to invest in this venture. But the reason behind all this, I think, if I can sum it up, is because we do not give up. We do not really give up very easily. I mean, that's what sets us apart. And and people know that, if they have come this long, if they could come up with a product that was otherwise impossible, they can absolutely go ahead and make it big. You get it? I mean, that's the proof we have. We have already set our foundation very strong, and maybe that is the belief that people get out for us.
Cool. Let's talk about you then. What's your background? You said you were university, right?
I'm a chemical engineer from RB College of Engineering in Bangalore. So that's pretty much it. I was more into social activities. I was a lot into co-curricular activities back in college, and that is how. And I always was of the plan that right after college, I need to have, or even when I was in college, I also always used to brainstorm new ideas for a venture. And somehow, we always used to do. I think I've participated in most of the B plans, won a few, and that's how the foundation was built. And eventually, when we felt that this is the idea, I think nothing could stop us. I mean, that's what happened. And I think we have, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I also, as of now, I don't have any hobbies because I don't get time. So, yeah.
Excellent. And you also are a mentor at the Founders Institute.
Yeah, so Founders Institute invited me to, give a few sessions because I was the youngest entrepreneur whom they felt has, done something that that has set a mark. And so they wanted me to, tell a few stories. And all I did was, I couldn't possibly mentor them because most of them are 3 times my age. Okay. So the first time I went, this is how they introduced me. She may look, all small and young, but then don't go by her looks. Listen to what she has to say. Okay, so that's how they introduced me. And I think that was a great experience. I mean, that is where I did not really feel very happy when we won all these awards and grants. But there, when I was actually, trying to tell them my story, and after my sessions, a girl came to me and told, hey, I was all down and out till today, till I heard what you were telling. But I think now I'm on a whole new level. I really feel that I have all the strength to take my venture ahead. And I think that's where the entire change happened. I really felt that, wow, if my story could inspire people, that's something. So, yeah.
When they ask questions, then what is the main question they ask you then?
So they asked me, how was it that I gained so much traction? It was mostly regarding how I built my product from a prototype. How is it that I got enough support to build it? How is it that I gained financial support to build it? And most importantly, how is it that I raised investments? All these questions were what was, generally asked. And I generally spoke on gaining traction only because so far we have done zero investment on marketing, and what is the status that we have now. So yeah, okay, that's what they wanted to know.
Yeah, okay. So obviously you have listeners who want to do their own business. What advice would you give them?
So to begin with, I think point number 1, age, qualification, or the status where you are now doesn't definitely matter, because I'm a 22-year-old coming from a very middle class family with nobody in my background having even 1% idea about business. I mean, all my family is either are either public servants or people who are doing are employees. So I think that's where you need to break the ice and come out and know if you do have a great idea and if you believe in it, the world will come forward to help you out with it. I mean, there are a lot of peers who are in my age group who feel that this is not the right age. Maybe I can try after I have an MBA or say an MS, and then maybe have my own venture. But I really think that there is no right time. It is the time when you feel it's right and you need to go ahead with it. So yeah, that is one advice I would like to give, because I have seen a lot of my peers having great ideas and not going ahead only because of this inhibition in their mind. So that is one thing. And secondly, believe in your product. When you're pitching in front of anybody, the one and only thing that they're going to look at is the passion that you have and how much you believe in your product and the positivity that you radiate about the product. And that's what pulls people around you, and that's what makes people flock around you. So yeah, these 2 things are what I can say at this point of time. Neil.
So you've come up with a lot of ideas. How do you actually come up with ideas? If people are listening, they seem to have stuck on what to do next. Once they come up with an idea, what would be the next stage? Say if they come up with an idea.
So yeah, I think that's a good thing, because Neil, you know what? I mean, when we started with this particular idea, right? And we came up with our methodology and our entire simulation of whatever I told you. When we went and pitched this in front of a few people, they told, hey, if you have done it, somebody would have already done it, right? I mean, this is one huge inhibition that all of us have. If I have got this idea, that means somebody else would have also got it. So what's the point? I mean, what am I? I'm just a 21-year-old, whatever, however you limit yourself. Even, in fact, people told us you may not get a patent. I mean, this is something that people are, and it's so simple. I mean, I could have thought about it, but that's where the difference is, I could have thought about it. They did not end up thinking about it. So what we are doing is very simple. And that's why when people look at it, they tell, hey, this innovation is something that I could have thought of. And that's what kicks them, in their belly. Shit, why didn't I think of it? Right? So I think that's where when you get an idea, you shouldn't really give it up. Ideas do come. When you see a problem, the mind goes about brainstorming about a solution. And when you have that solution, I think we should not just give it up right away by saying that, hey, somebody may have this idea. Maybe there's already technology about it. Maybe there's already an alternative. Why not think, let me go ahead with it. Let me look at whatever is available. And whatever is available, why not find out a better way?
Mm-hmm. So at the moment, you're sort of like doing the prototype stage and people are using it. When will this go into mass production then? What are your thoughts on that?
So it's already, we have, as I told you, we have already set it up in an apartment. Mm-hmm. So we are going to launch the version 2, which is the version that is going to be, that's a market-ready product in the first week of December. Mm-hmm. So we are already calling all these, and we have around 4 apartments whom we will be supplying by this year end. Mm-hmm. So starting next year on, we are thinking of going into, not next year on, quarter 2 of 2018 is when we are thinking of going into mass production. That is maybe supply around 10 to 20 machines per month. But that needs appropriate infrastructure, and that requires a lot of investment. Mm-hmm. So we'll be raising it then and then going ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Last few questions then. Is anyone you admire?
So yeah, there are a lot of people whom I admire, and most importantly, I think when I was growing up, it was my mother, because she was a very independent lady. Mm-hmm. She's the one who told me when I told, hey, I got placed in my initial years of engineering, and I told her, hey, I got placed, and that's a huge thing, right? I mean, I was the first person to get placed from my department, and I told my mother, and she wasn't really happy. She told, let's see. I told, why aren't you happy? I mean, any mother has to be happy. And she told, no, that's not what you are meant to do. I mean, you're meant for something higher. And she always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And we, as I told you, we come from a very middle class background. She didn't have enough financial system to support me. But she told me, I'll fund you as long as you want, because I want this entire inhibition of coming from a middle class family, being a young person, and you cannot have a business to absolutely vanish, and you be an example for that. So I think, she was a huge inspiration throughout until now. And apart from that, I have my mentors whom I always go look up to, because they have been there and done it. And so I learned from almost everybody at different walks of life. Let's say right from my fabricator to everybody. I don't really inhibit myself from asking questions, however dumb they are. So I think most of the people in my life have turned into an inspiration. I can't really name one person.
That's good. Good. If somebody wants to do what you do, how do they get started?
So I think first thing is find out what is the idea, what is the problem that you're trying to solve. Say if it is waste segregation, then let's hit upon it, and then look at what is the capacity that you want to solve this problem on. Say you can go. There are companies that are doing waste segregation. They who do 2 tons per month. They are also trying to solve the purpose at a different scale, and there are those who are trying to segregate around few thousand tons per day, and they are doing it at a different scale. What is the scale that I wish to solve this problem at? And when you zero down on that, then we go ahead and try to ideate what is the best possible way to do it, and then you'll have a couple of ideas out in your mind. So I think the best way to do is go about, start talking to people, start talking to the industries in this field. That's what we did. Almost 6 months we went around, kept talking to people in this waste management industry, understanding what problem are we actually trying to solve. And once you understand that, you'll get a lot of insights, which I'm sure that otherwise we would not get in any literature that we are going to read. I mean, a tremendous amount of insights you'll get when you go into the market, step out, and then talk to the people who are actually doing it. And then when you learn it from them, use those insights to actually formulate the solution that you're trying to build. And when you formulate a solution, do not wait for the right time to, get the right amount of money and then start. I mean, somehow beg, borrow, steal, get the money, do it, make it happen. However horrible the product may look, just do it. I mean, first thing, it's going to give you a tremendous amount of satisfaction. And secondly, you will have a proof of concept ready. And when you have your proof of concept ready, I think that's the time to, start optimizing and understanding how you could actually make it into a prototype. and then develop it into a product. So yeah, that's the way I did. So yes.
and work weekends as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's no Saturday, Sunday. I mean, it's been a long time since I actually partied. My friends have actually thought that I'm being really rude because I missed almost every birthday, every party. So, this is how I tell them, hey, I'll launch the product too, and maybe then we can party. Or maybe I'll start generating revenue and say this much, and then maybe we can party. And then they've given up on me. So,
okay. No worries. So last question for people who want more information on Trashcon, what must they do?
So you can check our website, which is www.trashcon.in, or you could write to us at contact@trashcon.in, and we will be there to help you find a way out to solve, the problem that all of us are facing. And let's do it together. Let's together be the team. I mean, the Trashcon is not the only one out there. A lot of people are out there supporting us. So yeah, please be free to reach out to us.
Thank you, Nivedha. Thank you for coming on the show today. Good luck. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks to Nivedha for coming on the show today. That is the end of the show. If you liked it, please leave a rating and review of the show. Just search for the Indian Startup Show on iTunes. We're also on Stitcher and Overcast. We're also on Pocket Cast, Downcast, Instacast, Pocket Kit, and Apple TV. If you're building something exciting, please send me an email, hello@neilpatel.co, or tweet @IndianStartupSH. Or go to facebook.com/Indian Startup Show. We'll love to get. Thank you and goodbye.